But these 8 are the most dangerous of all.
All right, you people. You really are Canada's worst drivers. But you can be rehabilitated, and we're going to begin that rehabilitation process just as soon as you get to the Driver Rehabilitation Centre.
Driving themselves to our educational facility, the bad motorists will have to follow the directions we've given them. The route is a 1-hour journey through the busy streets of Hamilton, Ontario, past some farmland, over a bridge, and into the Driver Rehabilitation Centre. Learner Lance is Canada's worst driver, according to his best friend, Gilles, who told him not to buy a stick shift.
But, you know, I didn't even drive the car. I had the sales guy drive it for me.
I wish the sales guy was here now.
Out of the way! This isn't the way. Here, let me take that off.
At home in Ottawa, Lance hyperventilates like this. When nothing's coming. While driving to his fashion salesman's job, Lance sometimes vomits.
Watch the light, too.
When he gets home again, Lance can't park worth a lick.
Check your side, check your side, check your side.
Oh, shh. Holy man. Scratched my car up.
En route to rehab, Lance is terrified.
No, no.
This year, the Driver Rehabilitation Centre has been set up at the Dunnville, Ontario Airport. When the lousiest motorists in the nation get here, they'll park beneath their own pictures. And then their driving education will begin. Lance is going 0.
Can you, sorry. No, I know, it's weird. Can you tell me where are we going?
Lance has been going for over 3 hours, but he makes it to rehab without throwing up.
So proud of you, man. Booyah, Chaka.
Yes.
Lance's skill level is so low that when I ask him to park as close to his sign as he can, this is where he winds up.
This is what it says.
Yeah, no, this is for, like, I don't know that car that well.
Last year at the Canada's Worst Driver offices, we received tons and tons of mail just begging us to stop using classic antique automobiles in our driving challenges. And you know what? We took those letters to heart. So this year, we promise you will not have to witness the destruction of a single vintage machine because we blew the entire car budget on one brand spanking new shiny green Camaro!
It's got 26 kilometers on the odometer. It's got no scratches anywhere. And it's going to be used for one challenge in every episode this season, starting with our basic assessment course. For this challenge, drivers will reverse through a snaking hallway of rims. Then they'll continue reversing through these concrete barriers. Then they'll slalom their way to something I sure hope they don't want to hit.
Allow me to demonstrate. I've never actually driven a brand new car before, so let's see how this works out.
The reversing section is very wide, with over a foot of space on either side of the car.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. Looking in the mirror, looking in the mirror. Looking in the mirror, looking in the mirror.
When the lane turns, I need to reposition by going forward in an S-turn.
Now I'm getting somewhere. It's the S-turn that gets you through this stuff.
When I get through to the concrete section, The path clearly lines up.
I see it all the way through. To me, it looks like if I, just go like that, I should actually make it right through there. That's not that bad. Really? Yeah, I'm fine.
To squeeze through this cleanly, the key is remaining calm.
Once I get to here, all I have to do is turn around, go through the slalom. Here I go. Woohoo! I should straighten the wheel before I start, though. Up to 50, check the speed. Wow, that's 50 already. This thing flies. And here I go, through the people. Yowza! Woohoo! And then when they get to this line right here, they lock up the brakes and... Oh, they stop way before the big me. That's easy, actually. Now let's see how Canada's worst drivers do.
Lance is not used to an automatic shifter.
Which one's Ford?
D.
Another two-footed driver. This guy's completely clueless.
Lance is sickeningly dangerous, and he knows it. What Lance is about to do to our new Camaro might make you vomit.
And I was really excited when we were getting a brand new Camaro, and now I'm a little less excited because I worry that the car might not make it.
Wait.
D, put it in D, go that way. Whoa, Lance. Whoa, stop. I think you should turn it off, actually.
Yeah. I totally agree. I'm gonna up this car, man. Like, and I don't want to do that.
Driving for Lance is a lot to swallow.
I puked in my mouth a bit.
Before we end this opening episode of Canada's Worst Drivers Season 6, our experts want to meet the nominees to learn exactly why they're here. But the most fearful person in rehab is Lance, who throws up.
How often, Lance?
Very often. Like, I just can't handle getting into the car.
Once a week, would you throw up in the car?
If I drive that much.
Wow.
From our nation's capital, the next breathlessly bad candidate is learner Lance. Lance is so bad behind the wheel, he often gets physically ill. According to Gilles, Lance's best friend.
His breathing gets very erratic.
In his rehab center assessment drive, Lance threw up.
Reversing makes you throw up.
Want to know something crazy? In every province of this country, people with a normal driver's license can operate a vehicle that is up to 12 meters long, provided it weighs less than
11 tons. The next challenge for Canada's worst drivers is to get into this beast and reverse it. Baroom! Through some really intimidating big steel things.
all they have to do is reverse from here to here.
Wish me luck. The trick to this is going slowly and using your mirrors.
The course has a slight steady bend in it, so once you get the mobile home lined up,
She should kind of just go along. It's one thing to say, it's another thing to do.
what I'm doing now is heading for a collision. To get realigned, I need to do an S-turn. I go forwards to the left. Yeah. Then I steer hard to the right.
That's a better angle.
Now that I'm in the sweet spot, reversing's a joke.
Nerve-wracking, yes, but in the grand scheme of things, not that bad.
3 minutes after I began,
I'm done. Now, let's see how Canada's worst drivers do. Seatbelts must be worn at all times. Welcome. Enjoy. Take a seat you like. All right. Aren't you glad you're not on that bus?
Lance starts by snagging the bumper.
Okay.
You can do it, Lance.
I don't know what way the wheel is right now, if it's straight or what. I don't know what to do, man.
He should use his mirrors.
I'm hitting something.
And he shouldn't take advice from Dale.
Go forward.
No, don't go forward. Just
Go forward.
This is sickening.
Oh my God.
Really sickening. After 15 minutes of destructive driving, Lance hits his breaking point.
Always check your mirrors, okay, my friend? Hey, Lance, don't worry about it, man. You're trying. You're doing good.
Yeah, you're doing okay, man. It's okay, buddy. Don't worry. Just take it easy. You're fine, man. You, 1 or 2 minutes? Yeah.
Get a grip, man. Get a grip. Let's go. Come on. Get a grip, buddy. You're a grown man. Let's go.
I'm a grown man.
You gotta try, and you're trying. Take it easy. Take it easy.
I hate to bring this up again, but
To your left. Don't do it to your left.
reversing makes Lance vomit.
When I lost it, Paul was right there to tell me to shut the up and push it into gear and
Stop crying. Do you know where you're headed? I mean, do you actually know the direction you're taking? To see if Canada's worst drivers know where they're going in their life, their next challenge is pretty straightforward. In fact, it's straightforward, and then it's reverse. I guess the only question is, will they stay on track?
All right, so I need to get perfectly lined up with the course before I'm on the course. The point of this challenge is to see if our bad drivers know where their wheels are,
Holy moly!
and to see if they know where their front bumper is. To test that, drivers must touch this stop sign without knocking it and the garbage cans over.
Oh, geez, I saw them shake.
Reversing requires confidence. In my mirrors, I can't see the rear wheels.
And when I look out the back, I can't see anything. Like, not even a bit of track.
Keeping the steering wheel locked should drive the car straight back.
Take some visual references just in case. And go.
The strap installed under the car is there just in case anyone needs to get hoisted out of our puddle. But maybe that won't happen.
This is actually one of those courses that's not as bad as it originally seems. Piece of cake. I can drive in a straight line.
Running the rails took me just under 2 minutes.
Now, let's see how Canada's worst drivers do.
When Lance gets over his nerves, He gets on the rails. But way before he makes it to the stop sign, Lance throws it in reverse.
Stop, stop, stop! How close to the stop sign are you?
I'm
Almost touching it?
Almost touching it, yeah.
Almost touching it.
Almost touching it.
I tell Lance to get as close as he possibly can.
I'm there, I can't go any further.
Put it in park. Put it in park.
Lance clearly doesn't know where his bumper is.
You're not even close to the stop sign. You got like 7 feet.
All right.
Okay? You actually thought you were this close to that?
Yeah.
You're not.
I'm not sure why Lance is always so overwhelmed.
I think it is the fear of me being Canada's worst driver that's giving me a lot of that overwhelming feeling.
Every vehicle ever made has blind spots somewhere. So, to see everything that you want to see while driving, you have to use your mirrors and you have to turn your head. However, some bad drivers create their own blind spots, which don't allow them to see properly, well, no matter where they look. The next challenge for Canada's worst drivers is to check their blind spots. How does Paul see anything?
Paul will now demonstrate our Check Your Blind Spot Challenge by driving down this lane at 80 kilometers an hour. These signs have either red circles or green circles on their other side.
When you pass those colored signs, look at both of them. Okay, all right. Okay, my friend.
When Paul does look back, he has to go around our stop sign to whichever side has the green circles.
You tell me when it's 80, Tommy. Okay.
For Paul's shoulder check challenge, he should go here, to his right.
Okay, 1, 2.
Paul learned his lesson.
Keeping your shoulders square here, that helped me. That helped me.
Lance will have to turn this way around the stop sign.
Why aren't you doing the fireworks, man?
All right. Here comes Lance. Will he make the turn to his right? From outside the vehicle, it looked like Lance was asleep at the wheel. But in fact, Lance was in there, looking for a safe exit, until he focused on our stop sign.
It's actually called target fixation. They see the problem, but they don't look for any solution.
Lance didn't see into his blind spot.
I just put on the brakes and I went through the stop sign. That's what I did.
It's time for our experts to speak with Canada's worst drivers to see what they're learning from our challenges. Lance learned what everyone around him already knows.
I've learned I might possibly be Canada's worst driver.
If you're on the road and want to get turned around, but there isn't enough room for a U-turn,
Off. Yo, what the mean? What the mean?
you should really be doing a three-point turn.
Oh, babe, honey, I'm trying.
A three-point turn is called that because when it's all over, the vehicle will have gone in a triangular, three-pointed pattern. For this three-point turn challenge, we're using a four-wheel drive Jeep.
So, I enter, and I start making my first turn all the way to the left. There's the edge. I can see my tire right on it. I reverse, but not until I've spun the wheel because I want to get every single inch I can out of this turn. Back up. Relying on my mirrors. Another foot or so. There it is. This is hardly a challenging challenge. And then I put it in drive, and I leave. And that's how you do a three-point turn. This might be one of those courses that surprises us because I'd be surprised if anybody fails that.
The entire challenge took me just 47 seconds.
Well, that's it. Let's see how Canada's worst drivers do.
From Ottawa, Ontario. New driver, Lance, was brought to rehab by Gilles, his best friend.
What's four-wheel drive?
What happens in a four-wheel drive car is you press the gas and you're powering all four wheels. In a normal car like yours,
Right.
you're only powering two wheels.
Okay.
To do a three-point turn on this course, drivers can take as many attempts as they want during a 20-minute time limit.
It's just squeaking, it's not even scratching.
Lance spends his first minute just getting onto the course.
I can't see the rocks.
To show him the rock,
And that's that rock again.
I stand on the rock.
I have no idea why his blinker's on or why he's in the moat. But we'll see how this unfolds.
Am I able to get out of this?
Well, because you're in four-wheel drive, you should.
And he does.
And that's what four-wheel drive's all about.
Nice!
It would be nice if Lance would learn what steering was all about.
And now he's going to hit the rock that I'm standing on. Excellent.
After what winds up being a 21-point turn,
So she right.
Lance hits the other rock for good measure, having wasted 8 of his 20 minutes.
That was a good practice run for you, I think.
On his next run,
That's looking pretty good, man.
Lance hits the rock, then tries to reverse with the Jeep still in drive. And with that, Lance wants to give up.
It's impossible to do a three-point turn in that.
It is impossible for Lance.
Watch the rock. Watch the rock.
Lance's final try is his worst of the day.
Stop, 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 stop.
Lance never does a three-point turn.
I just can't get it, man.
For most good drivers, learning how to operate a stick-shift vehicle is an uphill battle. Will Canada's worst drivers be able to learn that complicated skill? We're about to find out, because their next challenge is balancing a standard automobile on this teeter-totter.
Oh, no, not the pine trees!
This is not a major challenge. It's a mini challenge. Ooh, and here I go. All I have to do is get on the ramp and to the middle and stop, and it should get on the middle, and it should balance. A little bit more, a little bit more. Ooh. Ooh. And man alive. That was like a 10-second knockout. I think that's my record. Well, let's see how Canada's worst drivers do. Man, this thing is freaky.
Lance drives a stick shift at home, so this challenge should be easy for him. But it isn't, and he's blaming the car.
Yeah, it's not working.
It was working 5 minutes ago, and it's still working now.
You go up here, you hit the course. Come on. You balance it, right?
I left the car in gear for Lance, but he's trying to put it in gear even more, I guess.
There you go. What you sold.
This is.
Can I give it a shot, Andrew?
When Gilles takes the driver's seat, he's able to get the car going just fine.
Okay.
But when Lance gets back in,
Now you're driving away, but you're stalling.
Lance is doing more than just stalling.
Boy, that's grind him.
He's also smoking.
See, there's smoke coming out now.
What's that mean?
I think it's the clutch, right?
That's right. When you're revving the engine while in gear, you're spinning a flywheel. When you release the clutch pedal, the clutch itself contacts that flywheel, and the transferred power makes you move. If you're revving too slow, though, the flywheel won't turn the clutch. And you'll stall. If you're spinning too fast, the hot friction will turn your clutch into smoke.
I feel like an idiot right now.
I want Lance to feel confident, but midway through my explanation about how a clutch actually works, he flies off.
And when you're up there...
Oh, sh**! The purpose of this challenge is to see who has good footwork. Lance doesn't.
Quickly go from your... well...
In fairness, the clutch in this car was fairly worn down before Lance got in. But it was still good enough to work.
Nope, that's not good. That's not good. I swear I drive stick.
He won't be driving this one anymore.
I'm done.
This is not the first clutch Lance has killed.
Yeah, I burned through a clutch.
And how much did that cost you?
15.
Lance's car was worth saving. Our Mini is not, which means...
Yeah, he murdered this car. Murdered this clutch.
I didn't kill the car.
It's all part of rehab, Lance. You know, you gotta admit to that. Admit to that stuff.
Lance is in serious denial about his abilities.
I know how to drive standard.
To give Lance a fighting chance, we're gonna give him this 1990 Miata to try again.
This looks much nicer. I like this.
Can't wait to see what he's gonna do with that one.
What he does is rev the hell out of the engine. So sure, he goes. But the clutch is quickly being burned away by the friction.
Piece of cake, huh? Oh, hold on a second.
Oh, the clutch is going on this one too, I think. Honestly, it's burning bad.
You could see the smoke. The clutch is burning big time.
Ah, smell that? That's the clutch burning, that smell. Stop, where are you going? Where are you going?
The reverse isn't working.
Oh, you didn't kill another car, did you?
Yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah, you did.
Oh,
Lance is a slow learner.
I have now a better understanding of how a clutch works, but it took me to damage 2 cars to understand that.
Did you know that road signs are color-coded? Every color you see will automatically tell you something about the kind of information you're about to receive. For example, if you saw a sign that was, oh, I don't know, say, bubblegum pink, well, you'd know that that road sign was bogus, because road signs are never, ever bubblegum pink.
Do you know what an orange background represents?
That's a dead end.
Construction.
Pay attention to orange signs, because fines in construction areas are usually doubled.
And a yellow diamond.
It's a caution sign.
Yellow signs caution about important things.
This year on Canada's Worst Driver, we're not going to use classic automobiles in our challenges because last year after we killed our vintage Rolls Royce, people just, they wanted to cry. So this year, we spent most of our entire car budget on a brand new metallic green Camaro.
Our theory is perhaps no one will cry watching a metallic green Camaro get beat up.
The next challenge for Canada's Worst Drivers is to learn something experts call threshold braking.
Teaching threshold braking is Philippe Letourneau, our incredible shrinking high-speed expert.
We're gonna do a training for teach you not to skid. Once again, stay in control of your car.
Okay.
So it's a braking, no skidding exercise. The problem is that this car is not equipped with ABS.
Okay.
ABS stands for Anti-Lock Braking System. It's a much safer computerized braking system that slows wheels down without ever letting them skid. ABS is expensive. So,
There's still 45% of cars on the road that don't have ABS.
cars that don't have ABS will skid if you slam on the brakes.
All right, 70K an hour?
And when a car is skidding, there's no way to make it turn.
Can I lock up? Oh, skid, I steer.
I steered as far as I could, but the car never turned.
And as you notice, there's no more steering input possible.
I'm fully over.
And the car kept the same trajectory.
If you want to turn, you can't brake so hard that the wheels lock up.
If they do lock up, you ease off the pressure.
When I try again,
70, I'm there. I locked it. Well, I don't lock it.
because I unlock the brakes, I'm able to steer safely around the pylons.
Is that okay? That's okay.
Yeah.
Threshold braking. It basically means don't skid. It's exactly what it means. You want to be in control of the car at all times, so skidding is not an option in this case.
The challenge is to drive into this corner at 50k an hour. At this line, drivers can begin braking and turning. If they lock the brakes, they'll skid into the wall. But if drivers find the braking threshold, they can slow down and make the turn. As I mentioned before, this challenge is being done in our brand new Camaro. This Camaro came from the factory with anti-lock brakes, but we disabled them. So now it just has regular brakes.
I want to look where I want to go. I'm braking, and I'm coming around this corner, but not skidding, and I'm stopping.
This challenge is scarier than it looks.
Now,
let's see how Canada's worst drivers do. Lance is focused today. And on his first attempt, he remembers to look where he wants to go.
let go of the brake.
And he goes where he looks.
Woohoo! Yeah, baby!
Lance learned threshold braking and something else.
I've learned what the difference between ABS and airbags are. I thought they're both the same thing.
Does anyone want to graduate?
I definitely want to stay here and learn more.
It's time for someone to graduate.
Why don't we just make a short list of who it might be, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah, I think it's the easiest way.
As I go through the potential list, no one is selected.
Lance, no, he's not ready.
If you're a fan of this show, you know that every season we do a head-to-head reversing challenge that can create insane amounts of madness in the Canada's Worst Driver nominees. In fact, this course can traditionally drive our participants so batty, we call it Crazy Eights.
There will be 2 moving cars on this course. Peter Mellor, our head driving instructor, is reversing the silver Honda Del Sol. And Dale is driving the red Del Sol. The goal is to reverse all the way around our figure 8 without hitting anything.
You've got to be extremely cautious.
Peter has already made it to the halfway point where he's waiting.
Observation's the key to everything.
Peter has been waiting here in the middle because it's the only place on the course where there's enough room for the 2 cars to pass. Peter is about to finish off the course.
And that should be our challenge completed.
Lance versus Paul will be the final drive. In rehab, Paul feels extra confined in a lot of the tiny vehicles we have.
You guys got to get normal cars for normal people.
And this Del Sol is the smallest thing we own.
We got to fit in these things, Tommy? Oh, yeah, right.
Paul's not fitting too good into that car.
Oh, yeah, no. I don't think so, guys.
Lance, on the other hand, loves the toy car.
This is the first time I've ever driven a convertible.
At home in Ottawa, Lance. Wait, that's not Lance. There he is. Lance, who works as a fashion salesman, is a new driver. who really never learned how to reverse.
Was that the van or the curb?
That was the van. This is Lance's friend, Gilles, and now meet the cops.
Hi, how are you? You want me to look?
Check the damage. Make sure
Yeah. Okay, sure. Okay.
It's time for Crazy Eights.
Hey, no crying, Lance.
Come on, man. Doesn't have to say that.
Lance has been diligently taking our daily private lessons, and the results are amazing.
Hey, you're doing good, man. I'm not even gonna say anything.
What's to say? Lance is flying around the track.
This is a piece of cake, dude.
Lance does swing his front end into some obstacles, but
Kicked his butt, man. Damn right I did.
Lance is at the halfway point in 48 seconds.
I can't believe you did that better than him.
In this tiny car, Paul's bad back is bothering him.
Sorry, brother.
And in his discomfort, he doesn't see this runaway rim. And that rim stops the tiny car by popping a hole in its tiny gas tank.
Good. All right, well, that's a fail, I guess, eh?
It is a fail for Paul, but a pass for Lance.
Who's the baby now?
Here at the Driver Rehabilitation Center, we've never done a high-speed slalom because our vehicles have always been used and we never quite trust them under stress at really high speeds. But this year, we bought a brand new Camaro.
Our plan is to sell this new car when the series is over. It should fetch a pretty penny because it's only got 100 kilometers on the odometer.
The Camaro is about to get a lot more clicks put onto it because our high-speed slalom challenge is the longest course we've ever created. Now, this course is freaky to be sure because
Drivers have to maintain 80 kilometers an hour while swerving around these foam figures.
here I go. 70, there's 80. I maintain 80. 80, exactly. And I have to hold the wheel lightly and turn just before I get to the men, anticipate, maintain my speed, and that's it. It's really not that hard if you know what you're doing. And thankfully, after a few years of this show, I know what I'm doing. Now let's see how Canada's worst drivers do.
Lance will be first to drive the slalom. Think he'll blow it? Lance blows the speed limit by almost going 100.
Whoa! No.
Lance can't simultaneously control speed and steering.
I'm learning that I have big issues.
There are hundreds and hundreds of rules you must know to be a safe driver. How many do Canada's worst drivers know? We're about to find out. You're stuck behind a slow-moving truck on a road with 2 yellow lines. What do you do?
If he's continuing to be a little slow, I would make the decision to turn on my blinker and then go around him.
You can't pass no matter what on a double line.
There are 2 lines because there are 2 lanes. If you are in the left lane of a one-way street with 2 lanes, how would you turn left? Taking the inside lane is correct. If you're in the left lane, turn into the left lane. If an oncoming school bus is stopped on the other side of the road, what do? Always stop for a stationary school bus.
I guess they're only getting off here, right? So it wouldn't really matter. So I can just keep on driving.
Well, if there was a police officer the other side, you're going to face a $2,000 fine.
What if a police car has someone pulled over on the side of the highway? What would you do then?
What I would do is slow down my speed. I would come over here change lanes, and keep the drive.
Lance would stop.
You'd come to a stop.
I come to a stop.
When a stop sign is situated 3 meters before an intersection, where should you stop?
Right there.
Many people incorrectly believe you should
Stop at the stop sign.
Stop where the stop sign is.
You have to stop behind the stop sign.
In actual fact, you don't need to stop by the stop sign. If there's no white line on the road and no sidewalk, you drive the car up in line with the curb and stop at that point.
Oh.
And a lot of people don't know that.
Every stop sign has a line.
No, it doesn't.
They all have lines.
No, they don't.
Out of our 10 scenarios, Lance only got 2 right. The worst in rehab.
I don't know what to say.
In China, right now, there's actually a bus company that takes smooth motoring so seriously, they hang bowls of water next to their drivers' heads. At the end of each drive, the water level is measured, and if any liquid has slopped out due to a herky-jerky commute, well, the drivers lose cash. With that revolutionary smooth driving technique in mind, it's time for our annual Water Tank Challenge. All right. It's our annual smooth driving course. And this year's Water Tank Challenge has 200 liters of water on the roof, and it starts with a 60 km/h straightaway.
Drivers have to get up to 60, then slow down for a turn.
It's all about starting with a slow acceleration. 40, 50, 60, I can start slowing down. Oh man, slow down. But I need to slow down slowly, or that's gonna come at me. Oh, look at it, it's just measured perfect. There it is, right on the lip. Ooh, I got away with it completely. So now I'm into a precision steering part of the course.
Remaining precise in this section will be difficult if the drivers get distracted by their cargo or if they get going too fast.
Yay!
From there, drivers enter a long, winding road through these rims.
Take your turns wide in a big car like this.
The rims lead drivers past a parked mobile home and towards a sadistically raised platform.
Oh, man.
I crawl onto the platform, but it's tough to stay smooth.
Slowly, young husband. Not too fast. No! Slowly. I hate these courses. No, I'm too fast. Ooh, I got away with it. Ooh, I thought I was too fast. I was too fast. Yep. Great. Way to go.
Headed for the final component, my frustration is making me speed up.
Slow down.
This course ends with a slalom in reverse.
Just don't hammer on the gas, don't hammer on the brake.
And stop in front of our stop sign.
And that's it. Time!
6 minutes!
That's not bad. Now let's see how Canada's worst drivers do.
Lance says,
I understand the challenge.
but when he creates a tsunami on the straightaway, Lance completely stops caring. Lance doesn't really try.
I don't think we got that wet.
No. In fact, I'm kind of dry right now.
It's time for our experts to hear from Canada's worst drivers and decide which of them should graduate. Lance was in control while reversing.
Do you want to graduate this episode?
I want to graduate every episode. Am I going to graduate?
Only Jamie, Paul, and Lance said they want to graduate. So, who will it be?
This episode, it's fairly obvious. Am I incorrect?
It's too obvious.
So we don't need to have this conversation.
Nope.
Well, that's it for the 4th episode of Canada's Worst Driver this year. Paul,
When we first met Lance, we didn't think he'd be this year's first graduate. And he's not this year's first graduate.
Keep on screwing with me, man.
You are, Paul.
From Ottawa, Lance was nominated by his best friend, Gilles. At home, Lance is a hyperventilating, bad lane changing, pathetic parking novice behind the wheel.
It's too tight.
In rehab, Lance has been throwing up on a regular basis. We're trying to build up his confidence, but the man just keeps on vomiting.
I got an email message the other day from a viewer who said she learned an avoidance technique on our show that saved her when this giant truck veered into her lane coming from the other direction. She writes, I thought of Philippe Letourneau saying to you, don't brake, swerve, avoid, then brake when you are safely clear. It was like that part of the show flashed in my memory. Sarah Stosky made the quick maneuver and lived to tell the tale, and there she is right there. That's actually her with her husband, Nevin. Congratulations on surviving, Sarah.
Cheers.
In honor of Sarah, we're going to teach the same avoidance technique to Canada's worst drivers.
And here to teach how to swerve and avoid again is Philippe Letourneau, our high-performance driving expert.
Ready for more training? Training?
Absolutely, man.
There
I'm
we
really
go.
excited right now.
The training involves avoiding a very sudden obstacle, and that requires not hitting the brake.
Avoid, stabilize, and then get on the brake.
At 50k an hour, if an obstacle appears 4 meters in front of your car, you'll skid into it if you brake.
You don't want to brake when the car is already crooked. You try to straighten out the car, and then you could get on the brake.
Okay.
Everyone should do well on our Avoid the Car That Pops Out course, because we're doing this challenge in the best car we have, our brand new. Well, it was brand new 4 episodes ago. Our brand new Camaro.
Yeah, here we go, baby. Okay, I gotta get the car up to 70 kilometers an hour, 60, 70, look where I wanna go, wait for the car to pop out. When's it gonna pop out? And then go the direction I wanna go. Geez, there it is. Ooh, stabilize and brake. Whew!
To pass, you have to fight your instinct and not hit the brake. Lance is up first.
70 kilometers an hour, sir. Have a good, safe run.
Lance will see our pop-out car in time, but he skids out of control by hitting the brake.
Did you touch the brake?
I don't know.
Drivers will get 2 shots at this if they can stomach it.
Oh, whoa, whoa.
Lance's vomiting comes from something our behavioral psychologist describes as
It's a state of anxiety.
Lance is developed in training, but when it comes to the actual challenge, it deserts him.
He's an emotional mess.
I don't know what's wrong with me. I want to graduate. I really want to graduate.
Lance insists he can do this.
I could do it now.
But Lance can't do it. Because whenever Lance has to make a sudden driving decision, he forgets what to do.
I don't know what to do.
He went right in the middle.
Let's get the hell out of this thing.
I'm so sorry.
I'm never gonna get it! Ever!
What Lance does get is extreme nausea.
When one car
passes another, it is the responsibility of the passing driver to communicate his or her intentions to all other drivers. And the greatest communicating tool inside any vehicle is not the yelling voice of the driver. No, it is also not the horn. It is, in fact, your blinkers. Use your blinkers, people.
For this challenge, the 6 remaining Canada's Worst Driver candidates will go around and around this track, constantly changing lanes. Their nominators will judge the lane changes. I'm going to hand you out these. These are checklists with how to do a correct lane change.
The list says to change lanes, drivers should check their mirrors, turn on their blinker, then do a shoulder check, then change lanes if it's clear. And just to be clear,
This is not a race. Not a race at all.
for this challenge, Lance is in the Navigator.
They stuck me in the biggest car.
No, Dean has the biggest car.
Dean is in the Ford Custom 500. All the cars on this course have a speed limit of 35 kilometers an hour. Because
We don't want this to get weird. This is just a lane-changing exercise. All right, everybody, when you're ready, go!
And with that, Lance pulls out and takes off like it's a race.
It's not a race, dude. Dude, you're going too fast, man.
And he's weaving his way to the front.
Look at that guy.
It's not a race.
It said no racing.
It's not a race.
If I need to graduate, I need to beat these guys.
To succeed in this lane change challenge, drivers have to safely pass me twice. But I'm not even on the road yet.
He has to be in the track.
Well, that, I'm just gonna stop then. I'm just gonna wait.
What's Lance doing?
Why is Lance stopping?
What did he do? Drive, Lance!
When he gets going again,
Look, Lance is going like back and forth, and why is he doing that?
I don't know.
Lance intentionally blocks off the other drivers.
He's being a tool. Let him be a tool and on his own time.
Yeah.
Lance's behavior is creating real road rage.
Pick a damn lane, Lance! Holy
It's time for me to hit the road.
I'm in the big Monte Carlo.
To do a correct lane change,
You're supposed to check your mirrors, blinker, shoulder check, and then change lanes.
the logic is
Check your mirrors,
you do that to see if the lane you want to turn into is clear.
blinker,
Your blinker tells other cars what you intend to do.
shoulder check,
That's to make sure the new lane is clear.
and then change lanes.
Make sure you do it in that order. Mirror, blinker, shoulder check, change lanes.
Mirror, shoulder, mirror, blinker, shoulder check, change lane.
Not quite.
When drivers make an incorrect lane change on this course, there is a penalty.
Okay, the first thing you have to do is...
Blinker.
No.
Drivers must lap me one extra time for each mixed up lane change. Meanwhile,
I'm mad at you.
Me, what for?
You were going in the middle of a lane, back and forth, Lance.
I was in front. It's up to you guys to stay behind me.
Oh,
Really?
No, that's not the challenge.
No.
That was stupid.
It was not stupid.
It was. It was dangerous and stupid, pal. I'm glad I don't live in your province.
Mirror, shoulder. What is it?
Mirror, blinker, shoulder, change.
Well, I got the blinker on.
Lance has done so many incorrect lane changes on this challenge. He should be on the track forever. But Lance has had enough. He's stopping.
Oh, and here he comes.
I don't want to get out of the car because I don't want Donna to punch me in the nose.
Lance just wants to stop.
He lost sight of what the actual challenge was.
Minivans and modern family cars are all front-wheel drive. Sports cars and pickup trucks are rear-wheel drive. What's the difference? Well, rear-wheel drive cars can totally spin out on a slick surface if you give them too much gas. Learning to control such a spin out and then continuing it is something that car enthusiasts call donuts. Learning how to do donuts is the next challenge for Canada's worst drivers.
To do a donut, Philippe punches the gas pedal. When the rear end swings around, he does something called counter-steering. Philippe is going in a left-handed circle, but his wheels are pointed to the right. That is counter-steering. To know exactly how much to steer, look where you want to go.
For the challenge, they'll be doing their donuts around donuts. In a great big donut!
The challenge is to do just one donut around our foam donuts. But
yeah, baby!
I'm doing 2 full donuts.
I love this job. And that's how you do a donut around a donut, kids.
Making donuts requires feathering the gas pedal and looking where you want to go.
Now, let's see how Canada's worst drivers do.
Next to try doing one complete donut is Lance.
Now here I have to do a full 365.
They said that?
I have to do a full 365.
A full 365?
Yeah, a full 365, a full circle.
That's 3. To go around the circle is 360.
You know the calendar? It's like 365 days a year.
Yeah.
It's like the world turns 365. It's a full circle. The Earth is a full circle. It's 365. Anyway, let's do this.
A full circle is 360 degrees. Lance never comes close to doing a 360-degree donut. But he comes too close to our stack of donuts.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
Lance has some strange beliefs.
You need to be a scientist to do this.
With only 2 shows left before our final and potentially embarrassing episode, the nominees for Canada's Worst Driver are all lobbying to get out of rehab.
Totally gonna graduate this episode. Not.
The experts are all ears. And today, on the Lane Change Challenge,
Pick a damn lane, Lance! Holy
when Lance was driving recklessly,
It's not a race.
it triggered something in Brad. And that led to something we didn't show you earlier.
My mom got killed, you
20 years ago, Brad's mother was killed while working on a construction site.
Her hard hat had fallen off because of the strong winds, and it was a dump truck, and basically just run over her, and that was it. It destroyed some lives at that moment.
So when Brad saw Lance cutting off bad drivers intentionally, he went to a dark place.
When I see a person acting like a jackass on the road, I can't stand it.
Hello, everybody.
Lance knows he won't graduate because of that incident. He also knows that he has to stop crying behind the wheel.
That doesn't have any. That doesn't have anything to do with my driving.
Doctor? May I ask, Lance, what plans do you have for dealing with your emotions?
Just gonna try to keep them at bay.
Every year on Canada's Worst Driver, we do a challenge called the Eye of the Needle. And every year, collisions in the Eye of the Needle happen about 10 times as often on the right-hand side.
And the right-hand side is the passenger side. For years, we've had a theory on why this phenomenon happens. Our theory is that subconsciously, Drivers would rather jeopardize the safety of their passengers rather than their own safety.
To see if that theory is true, this year they will be going through the eye of the needle in a right-hand drive vehicle.
With the steering wheel on the right, will drivers still collide to the right? The course this year contains 5 arches positioned along a long corner. The speed minimum for this challenge is 50.
And I'm at 50k an hour right now. Now, just because I'm driving a right-hand drive car doesn't mean the normal rules of driving don't apply. I want to look far up the road. Woo-hoo-hoo!
Focusing far ahead allows me to see the front of the vehicle and the arches with my peripheral vision.
Man alive, it's really not that difficult if you know the proper rules of driving.
Don't look at the arches. Look where you want to go.
Now let's see how Canada's worst drivers do.
In our nation's capital, fashionista Lance was nominated by his best friend, Gilles.
You left your milkshake on the top of the car, brother.
Lance has to drive for the sake of his job.
The pants a straight leg, straight all the way down. The tie, the skinny tie is really nice with this. I like that James Bond look.
And he has to drive his 92-year-old grandmother to church, even if that does put the fear of God in her.
I'm very nervous when I'm in the car with him.
Lance is nervous when Lance is in the car with Lance, too.
Okay, let's do this.
So far in rehab, Lance has only passed 1 challenge. And today, he fails again. However,
Nice.
he looks far up the road.
Nice.
And he misses 2 arches before clipping number 4 and then whacking the last one. Believe it or not, Lance wants to call this a pass?
I aced that course. What's up?
No, you didn't ace the course. Look here, my friend. That's the sign of a non-ace, right?
Yeah, but I think I did really well. I hit maybe my mirror, but it was flawless.
So far on our series this year,
Stop.
Canada's worst drivers have killed 4 stick-shift vehicles.
He murdered this car.
They've smoked through tires, crumpled bumpers, smashed windshields, destroyed critical hardware, and fatally wounded gas tanks. On top of that, our K-car became so under the weather, it drowned and hasn't started since.
You know, this year on our show, we promised you that no vintage automobiles would be hurt. But unfortunately, our entire fleet of vehicles is already suffering from some very serious issues. So, the next challenge will be done in our mint condition, beautiful 1970 Monte Carlo. Let's just hope it doesn't suffer the same fate as our brand new Camaro.
The bad drivers have all been taught how to reposition a vehicle using little back and forth S-turns. This challenge will see if they learned that lesson. The goal is to back our Monte Carlo into each and every parking bay here without scratching its pristine paint job. An achievement that should take less than 10 minutes. Lance is up first.
Okay, what's the task? Am I not supposed to hit the walls at all?
That is what he's supposed to do. But trying to turn into the first parking bay Lance turns too tight.
Oh, that doesn't sound good at all.
No. Oh, no.
I thought we weren't going to let these guys drive the vintage cars this year.
Yeah, but we're running out of cars.
Every year, I wonder if the drivers on our show are actually getting worse. And I think the answer this year is yes. Lance and company are the worst we've ever had.
Am I hitting it? Am I touching it?
Touching it? He embedded our Monte Carlo's paint into it.
Really angry about that one. I can't even do that. I'm upset about that.
When this season of Canada's Worst Driver started, we bought a brand new Camaro. Since then, it's had about 200 kilometers put onto the odometer and about 2 million scratches put onto its body. We've been using this machine for one challenge per episode.
And the next challenge for our brand new Camaro is to pull and launch a sailboat.
To teach that skill, our expert Peter Mellor is here.
Okay, we're going to do some driving with a trailer. Trailer. Going forward and reversing with a trailer.
Going forward, it's important to take turns wide and a little late.
Wouldn't naturally the trailer follow?
Yeah, but it'll take the shortest route.
The trailer takes the shortest route. Means that if you just make a very tight turn, your trailer won't make it. To take the turn correctly, like I say, you have to drift a little wide and turn a little late. Reversing, things get more complicated.
If you want the trailer to go left, you've got to turn the car to the right.
If you get muddled in reverse, the trailer can pivot into a damaging position called a jackknife. Going forward puts everything back into alignment.
Way easier to do a straight reverse once the thing is straight.
When everyone is comfortable reversing a trailer, we can start this challenge.
The challenge should be a piece of cake.
It's actually a piece of nautical stress.
We're going to have him launch a boat.
Our course starts with a hairpin turn that leads to a rambling forwards drive, that leads to a reversing section, that leads to the intimidating, sloping boat launch.
So, to start, I want to check my mirrors. I see the trailer, and I see the trailer.
The bad drivers learned to take turns wide, but
this turn is undoable even for a regular car, so
I go back and forth and back and forth.
Not bad at all.
It's about to get bad.
Whoop, I'm touching.
It does happen from time to time.
But I can get out of here without knocking anything over, for sure. I had to go all the way to my left.
Steering to the left while reversing makes the trailer go to my right.
And now swing it outside to my right going forward.
And that also makes the trailer go to my right.
Ooh, the people who make these courses are evil. But I can do this. No, I can't. I gotta think.
This course is so tight, it could cause mental breakdowns.
I think we're gonna actually have to open this up for Canada's Worst Drivers. I don't think they'll be able to do this. Getting a boat always seems like such a good idea at the time.
When I make it to this reverse sign, all that's left to do is the launching.
To end this challenge, the boat has to get fully in the water. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you launch a boat.
This course frustrated me.
Now, let's see how Canada's worst drivers do.
Before the bad drivers go, our crew widens the course to make it more bearable. Lance might be Canada's worst driver, but he also might be Canada's most fortunate bad boat tower.
These
lucky he didn't tip that thing.
Lance can't do the widened out forward section cleanly. And on the final reverse, Lance doesn't seem to see where he's going.
Ah.
I should have had this done like 10 minutes ago.
Over the next 10 minutes, Lance's driving becomes complete garbage.
This is freaking crazy.
He hits going forwards and going backwards. He's worse. And when I say he's worse, I mean he's worse than any trailer reverser we've ever had. Lance does manage to get the boat safely into launch position. But he doesn't manage to safely launch the boat.
You just hit the boat.
So it's done?
Towing a trailer doesn't float Lance's boat.
Knew that was going to be a fail.
There's only 2 episodes left before our final episode, and people are starting to worry. They might be Canada's worst driver. Lance got through this entire episode without crying or throwing up.
Do you want to graduate now?
I want to graduate.
Do you deserve to?
Maybe I still have a lot to learn.
The remaining nominees for Canada's worst driver are from Ottawa, fashionista and new driver, Lance was nominated by his best friend, Gilles. On his feet, Lance is dapper, well put together, and really happy. Behind the wheel, though, it's a different story. He hyperventilates, and he damages things. Lance has to drive, or he'd have to walk his 92-year-old grandmother to church.
Knowing where your wheels are is a critical part of driving. So, for their next challenge, the nominees for Canada's worst driver will have to make their way along these concrete barriers without letting their wheels fall off.
We call this challenge the Trough. It's a 20-meter journey designed to test whether or not Canada's worst drivers have learned where their wheels are.
So now, once I get on the course, I can't really see anything. But I know
that when a car turns right, the front wheels don't make it as far to the right as the rear wheels do by the same point. So, to keep all wheels on this course, turns must be taken wide.
I am sliding, but I think I slid into position. That's what I needed to do, take the turn wide, and the course helped me out.
I'm driving slower than walking speed because
it certainly feels safer than driving fast on a course like this.
Even at this speed, I'm on the edge of failure. But
now that I'm here, I should just be able to drive. Yes. Off. The course looks easy, but it's actually pretty tricky. Now, let's see if Canada's worst drivers know where their wheels are.
Lance is up first.
Whoa, yeah.
Here at the Rehab Center, we pride ourselves on being able to get through to the most abysmal motorists in the country. But from the way Lance is driving, it looks as though we're not getting through to him. Whenever the vehicle has to get plucked off this course, or whenever a wheel accidentally hits the ground, the driver has to start again. Lance can't make his rear wheels follow the same path as his front wheels.
When you turn, do the back wheels follow the front wheels? Yeah. No.
Lance should know this. Trying to park his own car on the day we met him.
Check your side, check your side, check your side.
Lance got his front wheels past a pillar, but not the back wheels. To make Lance understand, I put a napkin on the ground, then show him what happens when I drive over it while turning.
I'm turning, bang, right of there, but look where the rear wheels go. Oh, we're close.
That's what Peter said. Damn it! Damn it!
We have a 1-hour time limit, and on Lance's last chance.
God!
Lance goes right off the rails.
What the is wrong with me?
Dale would never drink and drive. But
Hi. How you doing?
she illegally talks on her cell phone and drives. And Lance sends 50K an hour text messages.
Just because I text while driving doesn't make me Canada's worst driver.
It does make Lance dangerous. In fact, texting and driving is more dangerous than drinking and driving.
And all of you texting me like this, remember that drinking and driving kills 1,200 Canadians a year.
That's a sobering fact provided by Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
Now, I should also tell you that... I should also tell you that this is just cranberry juice and, well, you really shouldn't drink that while driving either. Or text.
And now, a demonstration on the dangers of mixing cell phones and driving. Lance likes to cell phone talk, eat, and drink while driving. To show Lance how dangerous his habits are, we give him a drink and some food. But Lance just treats this demonstration like it's a joke. So, there's no need to watch this.
Jeez, who's the judge?
To teach children focus and motor skills, it's good to have them chase a ball. So, you know, we figured to teach Canada's worst drivers focus and motor skills, we should have them chase a ball.
We call this challenge Canada's Worst Cup. And the goal is simple. Put the ball into the goal. This sporting challenge will teach car handling and demonstrate our driver's finesse.
Now, the ball is allowed to hit the defenders, but the car is not. And
to score a goal, the car cannot at any time cross this line. If it does, the goal won't count.
now, let's see how Canada's worst drivers do.
Rookie player Lance is next on the field. Lance picked up the sport of driving late in life, not getting his full license until age 26. Lance doesn't have good hand-eye coordination. And he hits Canada's worst goalie with the ball more often than he hits the back of the net.
Oh, man!
Lance only manages 4 goals.
You're kidding me, man.
Sometimes it's hard to believe what you see. A car driving in a straight line turns around in a controlled skid without leaving its own lane. How does this happen? Canada's worst drivers are about to find out.
So nice to see you, man.
Nice to see you. How's it going?
Not good, brother. Yeah.
Ready for more training?
I'm absolutely ecstatic.
The spinning maneuver the bad drivers will get trained to do is called a
J-turn, forward and brake 180.
A J-turn.
J-turn.
Is that like half a U-turn?
no. A J-turn is more like a U-turn on steroids.
Okay, J-turn. We obviously don't want you to do this on public road.
Right.
But again, it's to show you car control.
And the physics of transferring weight. And that weight transfer starts when the driver releases the gas pedal.
You let go the gas, you slow down, but you also physically shift weight
forward also.
Forward, that's correct.
Philippe gets the car to maintain 50k an hour, then abruptly lets off the gas pedal.
Quarter turn, half a turn. And I'm out of here.
The quarter turn pushes the car out. The half turn back in shifts momentum so violently, the front end bites into the pavement and the rear end begins to swing. Pulling the handbrake at this moment reduces traction so much, the back end begins to slide.
What do you think happened when I pull on this?
What do you think happens? Does the handbrake lock? The front wheels? Or the rear wheels?
It's gonna actually lock up the rear wheels.
Okay.
And it's gonna help the car to
Spin?
spin.
Why can't I just use the brake that's...
Because that basically will slow down mainly the front wheels.
Slowing the front wheels wouldn't allow the front end to pivot. That's why, for this challenge, the foot brake must never be touched.
Let's go.
On Lance's first attempt at a J-turn,
Right, left.
he does it!
Oh my God.
For the challenge, drivers will have to head down this laneway at 50k an hour. When they get to the frightened face of their nominator, they have to do a J-turn around that face before heading back out.
And they'll be doing this challenge in our brand new Camaro. You know you love it.
This Camaro was smoking hot. But since rehab opened this year, our most smoking car has been involved in 6 driving challenges. And that has resulted in more cosmetic damage than we could have possibly seen coming.
Hand on the handbrake, hand on the steering wheel, and go. There's 60.
I maintain 60 going through the white markers. Then,
Yeah, baby, just like that. Drop it in and get me the hell out of here.
Canada's worst drivers learned how to do that.
Now, let's see if Canada's worst drivers know how to do it.
But here at the Driver Rehabilitation Center, rain has moved in.
Hydroplaning is when your car skips across water, kind of the same way you can make a stone skip across water. For your vehicle to hydroplane, though, you must be going 70k an hour or over. So, if you're driving in a thunderstorm and you want to live, please slow down, or you may as well just get out and put a golf club up over your head.
Lance will try the maneuver next.
Do you know what hydroplaning is?
Hydroplaning is when you're going at a accelerated speed and you're driving on top of water. Hydro.
Correct. 60 and under, you will not hydroplane. Not physically possible. 70 and over, absolutely possible.
On wet pavement, this J-turn challenge can be done at 50. And to do it correctly, Lance has to jerk the car wide, then cut back, then rip the handbrake while the car is still unbalanced. But Lance hits the foot brake and pulls the handbrake before he makes his second turn.
If you see damaged corn in the supermarket this year, you probably know where it came from.
When the downpour subsides, I remind Lance of the obvious.
Remember to not put your foot on the foot brake, right?
Wait, yeah. Okay, perfect.
Let's hope for the best.
Alas, the best is yet to come.
Whenever you're ready. He's ready, but I doubt he's gonna make it. Check it out with me now.
This time, at the moment of truth, Lance tenses up and pulses on the gas. Then hits the brake, then hits the gas, and hits the brake again.
You could hear the vroom.
Even though he accelerated, Lance thinks he just hit the brake.
I pushed the brake again.
If you really pushed the brake hard, I really don't think you would have wound up 30 meters into a cornfield.
No, you're right. It's a good point.
What can you say?
You could say this is getting repetitive.
Ah, man! Holy
You hit the brake. We're gonna have to pay extra to the corn farmers.
On run number 4, Lance does the maneuver correctly, but late.
That is a good news story, though. That's an almost.
Then that becomes repetitive. On Lance's final run, he can't find the handbrake.
You know what I forgot? Keep my hand on the brake.
Lance might be one of our finalists.
Do you think you're one of those people?
No. I don't think I'm one of them. I don't know.
With only one episode to go before we name Canada's worst driver, the remaining candidates are all hoping they graduate tonight. 2 things are certain. Dale won't graduate, and Lance also won't graduate.
No, I know. I'm just getting really frustrated.
The 3 finalists for Canada's worst driver are all in the exact same boat. And for their first challenge in this, our final episode, they'll all be in the exact same car. And their challenge will be to see if they can balance this free-floating gimbal. And it won't be just in any car either. It'll be in our ginormous K-car. Once you're in here, you can't see the gimbal at all.
Before I got in,
I took a good look at where my wheels are, and I know that I've got 3 or 4 inches that way, and then I have to turn all the way this way.
during their rehabilitation, we taught the bad drivers that shifting a vehicle sideways can be done with an S-turn.
All the way to my right, tip, all the way to my left, and now reverse.
After half a dozen S-turns,
now I'm getting somewhere. If I straighten my wheels and come forward, I might just have it.
your left foot should never touch the brake pedal, except in rare situations. Having to go uphill 1 inch is one of those situations.
Yes! That is... Yes! That is it!
Balancing took me 2 minutes.
Now, let's see how long it takes Canada's worst drivers.
At home in Ottawa, our first nominee, Lance, has a very real driver's license, but no real driving skill.
Ah, dude.
Today, Lance will drive the gimbal challenge.
I just want to show you the course, Lance.
Just as soon as he throws up a little. Gilles nominated Lance as Canada's worst driver. He and the other nominators will watch their loved ones drive this challenge. And Lance is finally ready.
And so begins the final episode of Canada's worst driver.
Lance starts by slowly crawling the K-car forward enough that the gimbal tips. Now he just needs to turn his wheels and back up.
Man!
In 5 minutes, Lance does a lot of tipping, then tries to start again.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you're good.
Good might be stretching it. After 15 minutes,
I don't know if the tires are straight or not.
Lance just isn't getting it.
Ooh, that's not the right direction.
With only 8 minutes left, Lance does manage to close in on the center.
Now we're getting somewhere.
Just when it feels like Lance won't make it,
Come on, Lance, make it happen.
he teeters on the brink of success.
Lean back, seat back, lean back.
Lance succeeds with just seconds to spare.
What is up? Well, yeah, what is up with that anyhow?
Today on our gimbal course, Dale gets help from an unlikely source.
Keep the wheel going that way. Keep the wheel going that way.
The balance point has been found by Lance, and he wants to share that knowledge.
We're not going to look like morons on TV. This is amazing.
Holy crap, Dale.
Keep going. Keep going.
Dale says she's changed in rehab. But this challenge, it's Lance who's changed.
There we go. Stop. That's good. Holy That's good.
Whoa.
Stay there.
Stay there. Stay there. Lean forward.
Damn.
Yeah.
By following Lance's directions, Dale beat Lance's time. This year, like every year, we're going to end our time at rehab by doing a mega challenge that encompasses at least one aspect of every other challenge done in rehab.
And it all starts in our Mustang.
The first component is threshold braking. Drivers must go 50 an hour and not brake until these flags.
Just made it around.
The threshold braking corner leads to a
slow section. If Canada's worst drivers keep their wits about them, they'll get through here without too much, watch that rim, without too much hassle. Yeet!
This yellow corral lines up the reversing section.
Okay, I got this.
Which leads to a donut making section.
Yeah. Now
the drivers have 5 minutes to make at least one donut.
Feathering on and off the gas, I just drift and drift and drift and drift as much as I can for as long as I can. Woohoo!
Then it's on to our high-speed section, which means they will be driving
our brand new Camaro. Yeah. Drop it in drive and go. And this is the eye of the needle, and it's going to happen at 50 an hour. Swish. Oh, I hate the eye of the needle.
Drivers learn to do this challenge. They have to look far up the road and avoid the arches with their peripheral vision.
And then that's going to lead me to, oh, get out wide, a slalom.
Through the slalom, I'm supposed to maintain 50.
Maintain 50.
But I creep up to 62.
Now find the handbrake, because I'm going to do a handbrake turn this way, that way, and woohoo! Yeah, baby! Just like that. This mega challenge course ends with a balancing ramp. But if they just crawl along, it should be just another inch. Ah, yes. It should balance perfectly.
The entire mega challenge course took me 18 minutes. Lance is up next.
And there he goes.
Going into the 50k an hour corner, Lance speeds and he locks up the brakes without looking where he wants to go.
Man.
Driving 101. Look where you want to go, not where you're going.
On the reversing section,
Watch your rims on your side.
Lance doesn't look good at all.
Yeah, that's bad. That's very, very bad, actually.
I got a lot of room over there.
Tons. It's when drivers go over rims and through rims and into garbage cans and just keep on going that I really find myself in kind of pain.
No, yeah, I hit something.
Run.
I got a lot of room.
Yeah.
Eventually, Lance bulldozes his way to the donut zone.
All right, so we have 5 minutes.
After 5 minutes of trying, Lance never even manages to do half a donut. When he gets in the Camaro, Lance seems nervous, but he goes with gusto.
Hit 50.
Now he's at 60. Now 70. Now 77.
You're going too fast, man. You're doing like 80 through there.
Whoa. Doc, I think the Camaro and Lance are in the same boat. Neither of them's fixable.
On the slalom, Lance loses control and he isn't ready for the handbrake turn.
All right, get your hand on the brake, come on. That was crazy, man.
What's crazy is that Lance was ever given a driver's license in the first place. Lance says he's greatly improved.
Before I came to rehab, I didn't know anything. So this is much better.
It's time for the final challenge in Canada's Worst Driver Season 6, the public road test, which was supposed to be done in our brand new Camaro. But that car would be illegal on public roads in this condition.
So, we'll do the final road test in a Porsche.
And they'll be taking this powerfully sexy, mint condition Porsche Boxster through the colorful streets of Niagara Falls on a 45-minute long drive with 30 turns through some of the busiest and most distracting real estate in the country. Lance has no idea he'll be driving a Porsche.
Oh, shit. If ever you want to stop, we stop. If ever you cry or if ever you throw up, we're pulling over. Okay? All right. When you're at home, are you ever calm when you're driving? Nope. Never. Never.
Perhaps Lance operating a machine this powerful is making you anxious. But we've activated a governor on this Porsche, which limits its power.
See how you gave it gas there and it didn't really take off?
Yeah, no, it's good.
got a limiter on it, okay? So it won't take off.
When Lance sees the public road,
Holy cow.
his anxiety level gets ratcheted up.
And you want to do this drive, correct?
Yep.
Okay. You're gonna turn left on Niagara River Parkway and watch those pedestrians, hey?
Yeah.
Take your time, Lance. Take your time, Lance.
Lance drives slowly, but his breathing accelerates.
There's a lot of friggin' people.
You're not gonna look at the people. Where are you gonna look? You okay?
Lance doesn't look okay, and he doesn't sound very good either.
I don't want to drive.
You don't want to drive? You stop right now. Pull over, pull over.
Lance pulls over, but suffers a heart-racing panic attack.
You hyperventilating or throwing up?
Breathe, Lance. Okay. Lance, do you need us to call someone?
No. We call 911. And Lance gets the attention he needs.
This is not a man who should drive.
Yeah. It's a lot of pressure.
It's time for our experts to decide who is Canada's worst driver. On the final public drive, Lance went through a breathing fit that scared me.
Why did you bring a paper bag on that drive?
I've had a paper bag with me the entire time. Just in case I have like an episode, I have the paper bag.
An anxiety attack.
We're here to talk about my driving. We're not here to talk about my issues.
We're just a little worried about you.
Yeah, you know what? I've heard that throughout this entire experience, you know?
You experience emotional extremes that are not utterly relevant to what's going on around you.
Thank you, doctor, for your opinion. I appreciate it.
And I'm wondering if you've ever talked to anyone about this, talked to a professional about it.
I don't need to talk to a professional about it.
Deciding who is Canada's worst driver is something we agree on after a well-thought-out 20-minute deliberation.
Well, we've reached the end of Canada's Worst Driver, Season 6, which means it's time for me to name the country's most abysmal motorist and give them this ugly hunk of junk trophy. Brad, I have to say this really bluntly. You're our final graduate.
Congratulations, Brad. It's an ugly piece of crap, you know?
It's time to name Canada's worst driver.
Dale? You're not Canada's worst driver?
You worked hard.
Thank you.
That means Lance from Ottawa is Canada's worst driver. We're giving him the title because when the pressure was on, Lance consistently failed. And if you're keeping track, you'll know that this year, Lance failed more challenges than anyone else in rehab.
Oh! What the is wrong with me?
Actually, Lance has a name for what he believes might be wrong with him.
This is my non-medical opinion, but I think I have automotive bipolarism.
Automotive bipolarism is a term Lance made up, and it describes the phenomenon of having one personality away from a car and a polar opposite personality inside a car. Away from a car, Lance is a well-dressed man, exuding joie de vivre and confidence.
High five.
But inside a car, Lance is a hyperventilating mess who either throws up or cries like an injured 8-year-old.
Lance presents an image to the world very, very carefully that is polished and competent. It disappears immediately at the wheel of a car.
I don't know what to do.
Should I just give it gas? I'm so sorry.
In the end, Lance insisted he could drive through the city of Niagara Falls.
You want to do this drive?
Yeah.
Let's give it.
But in fact, Lance could not drive through the city of Niagara Falls.
I don't want to drive.
There's no shame in having anxiety. But Lance intends to keep on driving without getting any help. And that is a problem.
The first thing I'm going to do once I get back to Ottawa is trade in my car for an automatic. That's what I'm going to do.
After leaving rehab, Lance did indeed get a new car and no help. And most days, he's still out there driving. Lance from Ottawa.
I suck.
Canada's worst driver.